Welcome to Local Community Focus. Again, here with me today I have Mr. Harish Prasad. We spoke to him last week about creating a community centre for the Indian Fijians. Now, I would like to ask you, how could we approach this?
I think to start off with, like-minded people need to get together.
Yes.
There's so many people I've met over the years who talk about it, and I'm one of those. I think it's about time people got together, and by that I mean community leaders, leaders of social organizations, even leaders of religious organizations, so that we have a start. There should be a symposium of some sort, a meeting, and approaches need to be made to the state government. Everyone's aware that over the years governments have given grants to communities, and no government will deny the Fiji Indian community an opportunity like this.
Well, before we go on further, would you, having worked in an environment where you've had to deal with a lot of Indian Fijians, could you remind us again why you feel this is important to the community?
Well, as I've said before, we've become a rather prominent population in Sydney. We have a need to belong, like every organization, and we owe it to future generations. They, as I said, religious organizations, little clubs all over the place, little social clubs, but we need to now think on a bigger scale and something that that people will relate to for generations to come.
Most definitely. Now, I'm sure that you will be a very prominent player in creating such a centre if it is to come. How would you approach, like who would you approach?
Well, opportunities like this where we need to talk about it through the media. I think people listening or watching us out there would probably get together or contact me if they like. So that we can start coordinating ourselves a bit.
And on that respect, we will have your contact details available if they are interested in helping create such a centre in the future.
Yes, look, I'm more than happy to get involved, but I like to think that there'd be other people who will take a leading role, and people who have ideas that they can expand on.
Well, from my knowledge, I would think that the most helpful organizations would be already established cultural associations or government organizations.
Yes. In fact, I belong to one or two myself, and I know that there are people there who are quite keen. But I think we need to get to the next step. We keep talking about it. But I'm glad that we've had this opportunity to go on television and mention it to the audience out there. And I'm fairly certain that the people out there who will want to now get involved. Now, as I said, I'm happy to put a few people together, people I already know, with the people who are out there who want to get involved.
Most definitely, because it is a pressing issue that, although is fairly prominent, not many people realise or talk about it or discuss it.
Yes, and look, one other thing I should mention is there have been opportunities in the past. There have been occasions where there's a community club that was available for auction or for renting, but people didn't take advantage. Every day there are clubs that are closing down. As we know, the Croatian clubs and Yugoslav clubs. Some of these are now closing down because the new generations no longer feel the need to go to these. Whereas we Fiji Indians are now ready to replace that type of situation. So I think it wouldn't work out that expensive as long as people were prepared to put some effort and contribution into it.
Most definitely, and of course it's not politically assigned or religiously different. It was a purely cultural.
That's right. I think that is important. I keep emphasizing that we've got enough of religious organizations. This is where people will come, meet together. They'll have a common identity. Most of them will be coming because they're Fiji Indians. A place where there can be social, cultural events, maybe a hall where there's going to be weddings, social functions, and so on.
And of course this would be provided to just everybody because it is a cultural thing, and that's something I haven't really seen happen. I mean, there's always been sort of religious things, mainly, I feel, like major religious groups that have come and gone, but not so much a cultural thing. And I think that would be fairly important, especially for younger generations.
Absolutely, especially for the younger children, because the older Fiji migrants have their Ramayan Mandalis and so on, which they identify with, but the new generation, the younger generation, need to have something, and this is probably a venue where they'll be able to come and develop something.
Well, that is a very pressing issue, but we are coming to the end of the segment. But we will have you back on next week, talking about more other issues that we did press on earlier, such as the centre working as a social welfare and support groups for our community. Yep. Well, thanks for coming on to the show.
It's my pleasure. Thank you.
And we'll see you again next week.